Beyond the Fairway podcast presented by Genesis. Will somehow, some way, we have gotten through another PGA Tour. Well, again, it's kind of like we're already into the next season, but we got through the last. But the President's Cup, damn it, was the end of the season in my mind. But we made it, Will. We made it.
Yeah, I'm glad we're at the end, but because we're at the end, it means we get a new beginning. Ta-da! That's good stuff, right? I don't know if that's deep, but it should be kind of deep. But I have to say, I went to the President's Cup this week. It's in my hometown, Quail Hollow Clubs in Charlotte, North Carolina, and
your home course, though.
My home course is Charlotte Country Club, which is a Quail Hollow rival. Which I'm Charlotte Country Club biased. I think Charlotte Country Club is the best golf course in the world. Country Club members, everything. But I have to say, from me, the fan perspective was everything I thought it was, and I say that because
okay.
I say that because I'm 5'9" and I didn't see a damn thing. Right?
Okay. First of all, cap. That's all cap. You 5'9", cap.
Okay, I'm really 6 foot. Thank you for saying that. All right, and it didn't make it was tough for me to wrap my head around 40,000 people because it was massive crowds out there, and that's what President Cups does. It brings everybody out to have a good time and watch some golf. The sum part is the 4, 5, 6 groups that were out there. And I went for 3 days straight, had a couple business meetings, and I didn't get a chance to see not one golf club. But I had a good time at the President's Cup. Like I saw the big Jumbotron, and I was there. Shout out to the President's Cup for keeping everybody involved and knowing where everybody was on the golf course. But it was you have to, and it was a good time, man. It was a good time. So what was your overall take on the President's Cup? And I kind of want to go in with you on that.
Well, before we get there, let me say this. I was at the President's Cup when it was in Muirfield Village. And you're so spot on with the assessment. You got all these people, and there's only like 6 groups. So like that equates to like an hour and a half of golf if you're stationary on one hole. So you've changed your whole day to like get to the President's Cup. Yeah. Jordan Spieth, Siwoo Kim, and there they go.
Man, because I had the pleasure of obviously attending President's Cup, but also attended Junior President's Cup that was held at Myers Park Country Club here in Charlotte as well, where our very own Nota Begay was the U.S. team captain. Yeah. And if there's a way that we can merge the Junior President's Cup and the President's Cup all at one venue, one side at the same time, I think that'd be good entertainment. It'd be a collaborative U.S. Push and a collaborative international push. And I think, because you have the room to do that.
I want to touch on that, but I want to answer your question because you stole it before I could answer your question of what my takeaways were. I was just setting the scene.
I took it again.
No, it's okay. It's all right. I love you. I'm not angry.
That's what I do.
I'm not angry.
You shouldn't be because you do it to me. You shouldn't.
Takeaways. You asked me takeaways.
Okay.
Biggest takeaway. Should you say that? Should
Scotty Sheffler. Okay.
That's not that's a tongue twister in golf.
No,
Scotty Sheffler.
Irish wristwatch is more difficult, but go ahead.
Should Scotty Sheffler be the world number 1 per his play at the President's Cup?
I always thought Scotty Sheffler was the odd world number 1.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not talking smack, Scotty. Don't be mad at me. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying. I just thought it was an odd world number 1.
Best player in the world, statistically speaking, did not win a point during this whole championship. That was a takeaway. That was one of my takeaways.
So sometimes being a team event exposes you that you're really not a great team player. And I don't mean that to be in a bad way. Just like
it is golf.
It is golf. But here's what I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Spieth and Thomas, are they the emerging faces of U.S. golf now?
Absolutely, no question. 100%, million percent. I think what Jordan Spieth...
Are they replacing the Dustin Johnson and I can't say
who's Dustin Johnson? I forgot who that is.
Well,
I'm kidding.
You play amnesia if you want to, because you're gonna run into him one day. But do you think those are the new emerging faces? Are they replacing Dustin Johnson? Are they replacing? Even though we know he was a great guy, Doug. We do.
Yeah.
But he was hated. Patrick Reed. So are these the new emerging faces in golf?
I don't think they're new. They're not
new.
Nor are they emerging. I think they're just I think the baton has been passed from like the Tiger Woodses, the Phil Mickelsons. Yeah, I said Phil. That kind of era. Like our heroes are kind of like heading to the Champions Tour that we grew up with. You know what I'm saying? And I think now you look at high level golfers. I think and as Americans go, right? I think Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas, I think they're top of the hill. That's really, but JT got some work to do in team games because Jordan had his back and then he got exposed in the singles. So I'm just saying that. Right. JT's good people though. I'm not hating on him. I'm just saying he got exposed, and now I see why Kisner called Siwoo ugly, because he gave JT a L, beat him one up.
I think that was kind of funny what Kisner did. What he called Siwoo Kim the
ugliest man. He said you. Yeah,
no, that was Kisner. Kisner said that.
Kisner said to Siwoo, yes.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. But I have to give it up to the international team.
No, don't get me. I'm with you, man. I feel that. Like, keep talking. Talk your stuff.
You have to, man. This team was full of elite mini tour players. Just kidding. joking. LOL. This was. I didn't mean to.
I didn't say that. I
said that. But however, it was an inexperienced team. Had 8 rookies on there, and they had to go through a little bit more hurdles than the American team does.
I agree.
When it comes to the language barrier, culture differences, unfamiliar with each other, that is difficult.
You acting like broadcaster right now, man.
I'm in my broadcast. I get it,
but I can't stand like everybody's like the language barriers, dude. You had 5 Koreans, 2 Canadians, and of all the Koreans, they all speak English. Everybody was so like mystified that Tom Kim spoke wonderful English. It's like, what do you mean? He grew up in Australia. Like,
hold on, Doug. Don't trip, because you know.
I'm not putting it on you. I'm just saying, like, broadcast announcers been doing this stuff, and it's frustrating.
Hold on, Doug. Let me say this. I know what you mean. How many times have you and I spoke? And somebody said, "Man, you speak well. You speak great."
All the time, every week. People, like, when I tell people I do broadcast and got a podcast, they're like, "In golf?"
Right. It's just for all my friends out there who are white. When I come out of the podcast and get into broadcasting and pronunciating my words a little better.
Enunciating is what you just said. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Be you.
I'm being me.
I like that.
Enunciate.
He's an enunciator.
So when you say you speak well to TOO in conjunction with, or you speak well as if it was a surprise, that's an insult.
It's a super insult. It's a super insult.
I just want everybody to know that on my white friends.
Yeah, and internationals as well. No, but I like your point, Will, that you make, because I think I was in Charlotte. Now I can let the cat out of the bag. I was in Charlotte for the Charlie Siffer Cup, 4 weeks ago, and the international team was playing a practice round, and I saw the team, and I told Trev I wouldn't snitch. So if some stuff came out, it wasn't me. I wasn't snitching. So anyway, I saw who the team was back then, and that was the same day that Cam Smith had made his announcement that he was going to live, and Joaquin Neiman and whoever else did. And what I find interesting is that in the face of so much adversity, Will, Trevor Immelman and the team of captains, co-captains, assistant captains that he put around himself, and the players that came in. I mean, let's just be honest here. How many people, and I'm not trying to be critical, I'm just being honest, how many people have really heard of Taylor Pendrith? How many people have really heard of Christian Bizet now? Tom Kim, new on the scene. You take Tom Kim's last 10 PGA Tour events, his tournament finishes, and no one's ever heard of him, right?
Now we're going broadcasting.
No, I'm just saying, like,
you're switching up on me.
All I'm saying is, as you pointed out, I think these guys really did a hell of a job to put up a fight to try to win this President's Cup, especially with all the adversity. And then we go back to live. Okay, so what was the team have looked like if they did have Joaquin Neiman or Abraham Answer or Cam Smith? I did hear Paul Azinger call Cam Smith Cam Davis on air, and I lost it. I thought it was just hysterical, and it made me laugh.
Right.
And P.S. The amount of stuff that Paul Azinger gets away with saying and messing up on air, I would never have a job if I did what he did. I'm just saying.
Man, the one
I gotta say that out loud.
What'd he say? What's his name again? What'd he say?
He was talking about Sebastian. He called him Mito Panera. We're not about to go get some coffee.
Mito Panera bread.
He said Mito Panera or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
What?
Hey,
I never know. No. All I know is if we're talking about MVPs, I'm gonna give Tom Kim and Jordan Spieth my MVP, but I'm gonna give Paul Azinger nothing for his performance this week.
Oh man, that was most vulnerable player.
Dude,
right here.
Paul Azinger said, hold on, one more zingerism.
What do you do?
Because he makes me laugh with him. He said. He said, Sung J M, he was a journeyman there on the court, or no, he said he was a journeyman on the web.com tour, or whatever. What do they call the tour now? What's it called? He asked Dan Hicks what the web.com tour was called. And he said, then they're like, Dan Hicks was like the Corn Ferry tour, all like sultry. And he goes, yeah, well, whatever it's called these days, they change it so much. It's like, what?
Hey, wait, you gotta give him a break. Hey, if Dougie, if he would have said buy.com, all right.
Then we got it. Or Nationwide. If you said Nationwide,
right.
50-50.
If he said Hooters, and Nike tour, we got a problem.
Oh, man. Hold on.
But what'd you say?
I'll let you start. Go ahead and take it.
But I'm saying, just going back to, I'm giving kudos to what the international team did, just overcoming hurdles. But I know I brought up the fact that, they really didn't know each other that well on the personal basis to go into battle. And I use that for golf intents and purposes.
Fair.
And Spieth and Thomas went 4-0 in foursome as well as 4-0 in four-ball matches. 4-0 in foursome in four-ball matches. Cantley and Sheffler known each other, both from California.
Homies, they vacation together.
One in New Orleans. That is a camaraderie that you have going into play. People in the international team didn't have that per se, and that's why I really wish that things probably could have been different, with the live situation. But you still have to give kudos to those guys came to fight. 9 straight wins for the U.S. team.
Dude, look, and I was going to get on that because I know we're going long on the President's Cup, but I think it's worth staying here. Look, 9 straight victory of in the history of the President's Cup, the Europeans have won, or Europeans. I found Paul Azinger now. The international team has only won one time. See how they came back around and got me?
Paul Black Zinger out here.
Black Zinger. They've won once, right? And so, my whole takeaway, Will, is, the viability of this business model. You've got a team that has handily beat the out of the other side. Sorry, there's a beep. That, for so many years, they won in 1998. That's the last time Greg Norman was on the team when the internationals won. Let's just put that in perspective. How viable is the President's Cup moving forward? How viable? Because you made a good point, right? Put the kids in. My attitude is it should be like the top 12 U.S. men's and women's. I loved.
Oh, I like that.
Was it Paul McGinnis's McGinley? I get I get the McGinnises and McGinleys backwards.
Right.
I like having the women involved in the President's Cup, especially if it's going to be just a shellacking by the American team year after year to the international team. Like, it's just annoying. Like I found myself rooting for the international team, especially when Tom Kim made that putt on Saturday. I was lit. Like, I was up screaming. It felt like Tiger was putting.
Yeah. So when Siwoo Kim, you saw the intensity of Siwoo Kim on the 18th yesterday. That did it for me. That's when I just realized, like, it could be something. It has opportunity to grow. For the viewer and spectator, especially the guy who's 5'9" who's attending personally.
I want to see more golf. If I'm there on the ground, I want to see more golf.
I want to see more golf. Yeah, and you know what? PGA Tour might need to call us for this one. You know, how to really kind of execute in, you know, enhancing the fan experience. I like that Junior President Cup playing as well the women's. That might be something, because all around where you get nonstop golf and you every country is rooting for whoever they're rooting for. So I think that'd be something special.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the junior golfers, and Beyond the Fairway is presented by Genesis Motor America and the 2022 GV80. Luxurious design meets intuitive versatility. Make the game your own, Will. But I saw something this week too that really, like, annoys me. It is, and we give kudos to Nota Begay. All right, Nota was the Junior President's Cup captain and, you know, fellow melanated individual. But he's got a business partner on his tour. His name is Ryan Burr. You all may have known and be familiar with Mr. Burr. He's a very good broadcaster. He's a host. Worked at ESPN, Golf Channel, PGA Tour Live. He does a lot of golf stuff. But Ryan Burr interviewed Charlie Woods after a career low 68 as he tries to qualify on the Nota Begay circuit. What I don't understand, Will, why the hell are we talking about Charlie Woods shooting 68?
Damn, Doug, because he shot 68.
I'm not saying it like that. Like, okay, Charlie Woods is Tiger's son. I feel like every time I blink, he's gained 3 inches of height, and he's 4 years older now. So he's got to be at least 17.
And his arms is longer than my torsos.
Right. My thing about it is like, if Jim Furyk had a son and shot 68 at Nota's event, would he get an interview? If Steph Curry's son shot 68 at Nota Begay's event, would he get an interview?
Yeah, because he had.
But you see what I'm saying? But you see what I'm saying?
He would get an interview because his father never shot a 68. But yes, Cannon would get an interview.
Go ahead and clip that. Go ahead and clip that right there.
But
Nick Watney. If Nick Watney had a son, would his son get an interview?
I think this.
No.
And you have a point right there, Doug, because it makes you wonder if we want to protect the privacy of Tiger and Charlie, so they can really engulf that father-son moment. I think we're starting a bad path with interviewing Charlie at such a young age at this moment in time. Like
that's what I'm saying. That's
right.
The point I'm trying to make.
You're on the point of, if Nick Watney or if Doug LaBelle had a son shooting 68. Great name. I just said Doug LaBelle. Doug LaBelle. If
that's the comedian. There's a comedian named Doug LaBelle.
Right, but if they had a son that was shooting 68, yes, you're on that point. Yes, that's a little unfair, a little weird. But I don't really care about that. I'm getting to the point because I don't want Charlie to turn into the old Tiger, where he just because Tiger was good at it. Tiger didn't have to talk to nobody. He was very curt, and I don't want Charlie to pick up on that, because we do love this new Tiger being a little vulnerable, being engaging. I want Tiger to have that. Charlie to have that innocence about him. So I'm not a big fan of the interview so early.
And that's my point too. There's no reason. Like, look, I like Charlie Woods. I'll interview him at the father-son. I get it. That's part of the pageantry of the event. But to really go out and make it a thing, and you can check it on Twitter. Shout out to Jeff Eisenband for sending me that on Twitter. Ryan Burr. Ryan, we'll have to have a conversation about that. But, Will, this is our season finale, right? Like, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Like, my takeaways and my favorite moments and episodes from this year. I'm going to give you a minute to think because I have one. And I'm going to post this on Instagram probably later next week because I think J.R. Smith said some of the most gangster stuff on our episode that we did with him. And by the way, Charlie Woods, per the last segment, he finished tied for fourth. So I don't know how many fourth place finishers get interviews. Just saying.
Stop, Doug. Stop.
But JR said some of the realest stuff, man, especially as a guy like me who played at the University of Louisville, transferred, played golf at Florida A&M, the disparities between, high-level PWI. I hate that expression. PWI golf versus HBCU golf. And everybody's like, HBCU, this buzzword. And JR quite bluntly was just like, man, this is trash, man. Like, these guys ain't going to be ready for nothing coming out of an HBCU. And that was so impactful because I lived it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I lived it, and I know what these guys are going through and gals as well. And then you look at, conversations, too, and you learn that there's no Jackson State, one of the strongest powerhouses in black golf, it doesn't have a golf team anymore. Like, how is that even real? It blows my mind. So when I think of what just JR put down, man, that hit me pretty tough.
Yeah, that was a good episode because I want to say that was one of the few interviews JR was vulnerable with us. I mean, he started talking about his ADD and learning disability, etc.
Yeah,
and he brought me out the box. I think I got ADD.
ADHD. You got something.
It's hyper. It's hyper. A lot of stuff be moving around that page when I be reading. I promise you that. Hey, but I would say this though. I want to say one of my. I got a lot of. I don't know. Scrutiny is a word, but a lot of positive feedback and perhaps some negative. Was the episode a few weeks ago regarding the parents that I've noticed from all cross golf, from the Hurricane Tours to wherever I have seen junior golf from being a player as well. And given my honest opinion about my point of view, I think that was one of the more interesting episodes that needed to be discussed.
No, and I'm glad you did it.
Because a lot of governing bodies in golf reached out that week and they were much appreciative of that conversation we had.
There's some asshole parents out here.
There are, but I'm scared.
I mean,
there are.
I don't care. I'll say it. I grew up with a few of them. Hell, I grew up not wanting to play golf with certain groups. I don't play with y'all.
Was your dad tough?
Hell no, my dad wasn't tough. My dad was like, go out there with the white folk and beat them, and I'll pick you up later.
He was
My dad's inherently racist, so you have to understand that. Like, that was my motivational speech. Like, that's real though. Like, don't get. All right, man. Don't you come back in here and get. All right. What will? You want honesty? Right here, presented by
Beyond the
Genesis.
Fairway, presented by Genesis, dog. That was. I get that speech. I mean, I could dig it. I could dig it. I mean, my dad. I wish my dad was a little tougher. Again, I was a nationally ranked tennis player as well. I played junior golf. Mm-hmm. My dad was and to a certain extent, though, Doug. And I hate to be Angel's advocate, but I'm about to be. Is that one of the requiring factors to become successful? Is to be that helicopter
I don't think so. I don't think so.
But I think what the misconception is, and this is strictly from my point of view when I talk to parents such as this, is that they always bring up Joe Jackson. They bring up They bring up Serena Williams, Mr. Williams, Richard Williams.
Yeah, that's right.
They always bring up
King Richard. We're gonna call him King Richard.
Yeah, they always bring up the parents that have made it, who have seen their public displayed and publicly known that their parents were helicopter parents, and I'm starting to see parents kind of compare, like, yo, this is where, I mean, this need to be done for our kid to get that next level. And I think that's where the misconception is, and but again, but it's going back to me though, Doug. To a certain extent, I wish my dad was a little harder on me. Like, my dad was, hey, if you want to stop today, we can stop today.
Yeah, but then you go take that same mentality and you put it into or on top of a CC Sabathia, right? We talked to him about his pops in the documentary that he has out there that people can go watch. He didn't have that. He didn't have no helicopter nothing. He had his helicopter ass self, So I think, when you compare the Williams sisters to CC Sabathia, per what we know, right? Per what we know from in media and what we see in movies, etc., articles. There's also a certain internal something that Serena had, Tiger had, that CC without a helicopter parent also had. So I don't know. I don't know what the formula is there. And shout out to CC Sabathia coming on this season 2 of Beyond the Fairway. It took us. I wish people understood how long it takes us to get a guest to sit their ass down on here. It's not as easy as it sounds, especially when you try to get like an Anthony. Look, let me just go back. We're talking about highlights from the season. All right, bag. We're at Tahoe. Anthony Anderson is supposed to warm up for his practice round on a Wednesday. Okay, Anthony Anderson gets to the practice tee as the carts are filing off to the golf course. So you can check that out on Will's Instagram. He got cussed out by Anthony Anderson during that procession. Now, we were supposed to record with Anthony during his warm-up, like before he went to play. Will, I don't know if you remember this.
I do remember this.
Anthony said, I got y'all when I come back. When he came back, it was 5.5 hours later. Me and Will were still sitting at the seat like this. All right, man, let's go ahead and do the pod. So I said to say all the effort that goes into this podcast because we love you, and Genesis, and money, all of the above. That's why we do it.
Yes, we love the tens and tens of followers that subscribe. Yes, we do.
Hey, do any of y'all need something from the gas station? By the way,
you know what? I'm happy about the American Century next year, because I really felt like a lot of players were really excited about talking to us. Than before. Yeah. Like begging and almost had a hold at gunpoint. Like, come on, talk to us, man. Like,
hey, come on over here.
Come on. I know. Hey, I got some of your back right now. And don't move too sharp. Don't move too quick. But it was good, and I think that we're starting to, I'm starting to see businesses asking questions like, will we see what Beyond the Fairway is doing, and how can we be a part of the conversation, and that's all we really care about. We want to keep the thing thriving, keep this thing going, so we can be the lead on diverse conversations in this game of golf and this sport that we all love.
I mean, that's well stated, but I got some qualms with how you said that personally, Will. Okay. Because you got two black folk talking about golf. You're going to get a diverse conversation. You don't have to, fake the funk. You're going to get the diversity. Like, you're going to get an opposing view than the majority has just because you got two of us on here. So you don't really have to, make an effort. Like, if you really just want to know what's cracking and not hear from the same ass people, then come right here, right? And I think that's the problem with diversity, and I hope that people understand that we are diverse people in a non-diverse sport. So if you really want to understand what's really cracking, then you should pull up to us and talk to us first, and then we can give you the yardage that you need for a nominal fee.
Yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate that POV, because you start to see like players kind of let their hair down. Like we have got to know a lot of the players off Beyond the Fairway, off camera, that recognizes, and you can see they let their hair down with us. Like it's like man, you know what? You're not in media yet. Like we're not in media yet. We're not yet. But I appreciate that, and I see where this platform of ours is going. And
hey, you're not media until you're
media. Until you're media. Right.
Hey, no, but on some real stuff, man. We appreciate y'all rocking with us right here on Beyond the Fairway, NBC Golf Channel. All the folks that have downloaded, listened, subscribed, follow, hit me up. I mean, we've gone to events where people are like, Doug, what's up? And I'm like, I don't know you, but what's happening? And it's a really interesting experience, but it's so appreciated, and I appreciate what we get back. So thank you all so much for just being there for us too. I mean, we also use this as a platform to vent and talk about our frustrations. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate y'all being here. We appreciate you just being around, man. Will, send us out of here, man.
Well, I got a question for you, because I'm all about progress and being better than where we are right now. What are you going to do, Doug, between now and the next time we're back on, I don't know, a couple months from now, to improve the game of golf for the next man?
I'm going to be my damn self. I'm going to be my damn self and make sure I'm in every conversation about broadcast, about podcast, about reporting, because if nobody can see us out here doing this work, then they can't believe or aspire toward it. So I'm everywhere. I'm going to be, look, all the little high-ups at ESPN, PGA Tour, you know what? And if none of this cracks, then I'm calling Live. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm just letting you know. So ESPN, PGA Tour, Golf Channel, y'all got first dibs. So let's make it crack. And they got money too. I'm just playing. Yeah. But no, I'm really trying to. I'm not trying to be everywhere, but I want to make sure that golf is coming from, like you say, Will, our pad and pen. And I'm gonna do it my way. Call me Blue Eyes over here. I'm gonna do it my way, and hopefully. People gravitate toward it. That's where I'm at. You?
I think same thing, man. Just kind of continue the efforts of, having this game grow organically, and also putting myself in position, to help businesses have the ability to create and have a conversation with other communities through the game of golf.
Look, we're getting so business focused. I love it.
I'm sorry.
You know what? I get that businesses. Go talk to Will. But anybody out there that just get this out here, that think, oh, them cats, they don't know how to play no golf, man. I smoke, I dust it. Look, if you come to Phoenix, DM me, the Douglas Fresh. Yes. I will put whatever you want to play for. We can put it up, and I will bust yourself, because I'm sick of people acting like we can't play.
Before we go,
I want all the smoke. I want the smoke. Give it to me.
Doug, before we go, who do you think as partners? If we got Jordan and Thomas. They're friends. They grew up with each other. We known each other. Who, as a two-man, would you want to go against in the podcast space, radio space, TV personality space, and golf? Who would it be? So last point here, by the way.
All of them. Give me the no laying up guys. Give me the subpar. Actually, not subpar. I don't know if I really want to see Drew and Colt. I'm going to say that they kind of cold.
I want to see them. Don't do that. We supposed to be. Don't do that, bro. Do not back out right now. That late it like that. Don't do that.
All right. Out of everybody, Sleaze and Colt knows. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Bring them. If we're doing podcast battles, that's that. I think they the top of the golf. Like the good dudes, they cool and whatnot, but like they don't. They didn't play on the PGA Tour. They didn't play in the USGA 4 ball.
Are they good?
They're good.
Oh, they are?
They're good at golf. Like
they're not like with us.
But Colt knows play on the PGA Tour.
Yeah,
Drew Sleaze and Drew Kittleson a couple weeks ago played in the USGA 4 ball and almost won. Yeah, so they got a little bit more, tournament pedigree. That's what I need. Like anybody can go hit and giggle. I want some tournament golf.
I think we can give them the business. All right, we really appreciate everybody joining us for this second season of Beyond the Fairway that is presented by Genesis. And Doug and I are signing out. We hope to...
Are you reading right now?
No, I'm not reading.
It sounds like you're reading.
Well, I'm in my broadcast space.
Okay, it just sounded like you were. I thought you were reading. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm just making sure I understand.
What? Well, go ahead and do not reading.
No. I just wanted to make sure the way you look at the screen.
I mean, I'm looking, and I'm trying to get better and look into the exact camera as opposed.
You
to
weren't even looking in the camera. You were looking at the screen underneath the camera.
Well, I'm looking at you.
All right, we'll do it again. Sign off.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody joining in for the second season of Beyond the Fairway presented by Genesis. And Doug and I had the pleasure of spending time with you, talking golf from different clubhouse, from our pad and pen. And you catching the vulnerability of Doug and I.
You look like you're still reading.
I'm looking at you in the screen, Doug. What do you want me to do?
Just let you do.
All right. Bye, everybody. Bye. You gotta do it like family reunion. Just bye. That's how you get in the car with the food. Just bye. Just bye.